Hi friends! Happy New Year! I hope you're having a great January. I'm excited that we're getting back into filming, and the first video of the new year will be another KnitPicks video. Yay! Since it's January, I decided that we would try dyeing their thick, bulky, single-ply yarn. It is called Muse, and it is, well, they consider it a worsted weight, heavy Aran type yarn, but it looks very similar to a lot of indie dyed single ply yarns. Let's see, it is 100% superwash merino, so there's no nylon in this. So it should take dye pretty nicely. I always like the way speckles show up on single ply yarn. It's very unique. They spread out a little bit, but like also are like kind of big on one single strand instead of like getting on multiples, because usually it's pretty thick. This is a little thinner than the single ply bulky that I supply in my shop, so I'm excited to see how different it may or may not be. Just looking around, and I think the amount of ties on this skein actually makes me happy. There are only 3, but the, here, I'll go back. It's not a huge skein. I usually feel like they don't put enough of these ties on their bare yarn, which bothers me because it gets tangled very easily once you're like moving it around in water and drying it and everything. But I am pretty happy with that compared to the size of the skein, and I'm excited to try it today, so let's go! Yarns come in like the noisiest plastic bags. They're super hard plastic. I don't like this. While it's soaking, I'm trying to decide what colors I want to dye it. It is winter, so I feel like that leans towards blue. I'm not a big blue person. I feel like I want to make it pink, but I make everything pink. So, should I make it matcha green? That's winter, right? focus very well, but the dark teal that I came up with was so beautiful and didn't look much like the end result, unfortunately. To everyone's surprise, the next color that I add will be pink. I wasn't loving the contrast between the gray and the bright pink that I did, so I decided to lay it all in some dark pinky mauve-y colors, and I really am glad that I did this. So after those close-ups, I really like the way the speckles came out on this yarn. Like I said earlier, they did kind of like expand a little bit. Like they're not as defined as on multiply yarn, but I think it looks really great on single ply like that, especially bulky, because you can see the different colors more. The closer you get, you can see like the dye's breaking apart a little bit, so it's not like just a brown dye speckled. There's like some red, some brown, maybe some greens in there, and I think it looks really nice on this yarn. For the tonal, I think that usually when making tonals you have to add a lot of dye if you want like a darker yarn. It looked like the dye I had added was pretty dark, so I expected these to be a little bit darker, but I think they really absorbed the dye like as much as possible. You can see there's definitely like lighter spots. It's more tonal than like solid, which I kind of would expect from a single ply, because I've had the other single plies that I dye have like a similar reaction to dye. That's probably not a great way to describe it, but a similar relationship to dye, I'll say that. Where I think that if you want it to be like a really dark, deep color, you should add even more than you already expected to add. It feels like the single plies, especially the bulkier ones, maybe a lot of the dye ends up inside the strand, so it's not like all on the outside of the yarn that we see, and therefore it looks a little bit lighter. It's my hypothesis. I could be wrong, but that's what it seems to have happened anyway. The same thing kind of happened with the colors I added on the variegated skein as well. I feel like they came out a little bit lighter than I had expected, but I really like the way they came out. They definitely look very Valentine's, but I really like the speckles the most. Would dye again. I hope you all enjoyed today's dyeing video. I had a lot of fun dyeing these yarns and reviewing them. Let me know if you've used Muse yarn. I've never actually knit or crocheted with this, so I would like to know how it works up, if it holds up nicely as a single ply yarn that has no nylon and only one ply. I feel like it has kind of a limited use, maybe just hats, maybe gloves. But yeah, let me know if you like this yarn. Is there any other KnitPicks yarn that you'd like me to dye next, let me know down below. I have a lot still to go through, and I have a couple that I've already done in the past. They will all be in the Dyeing KnitPicks yarn playlist. I hope you all are off to a great year, and stick around for more yarn being dyed every month. Bye! They will be in this playlist as my cat just runs around the floor for no reason. Okay, bye! But they will all be in the Dyeing KnitPicks playlist.